Right. So please mute your microphone while the session is ongoing. Of course, we welcome questions during the presentation. Just submit them in the chat box and we will answer them. After completing this session, you will be given a certificate as your proof of attendance to this training. All right. Okay, so welcome to our session on getting started with Animo Repository. Thank you for signing up. I am Janice Peñaflor, your lead librarian for this session. So I am teamed up by Miss Candy May Skive to assist you as well. She will be checking the chat box for your questions as we go along. Today, I'm going to walk you through the Animo repository. So since this is mostly a demonstration-led session, I highly suggest that you have a browser on standby so you can follow along. If you have an extra screen, much better. Otherwise, don't worry, we will furnish you with the how-to guides and copy of the presentation. So while the primary focus of the archives has always been preservation, the very point of preservation is providing access to these materials. So it is about accessibility and promotion of scholarly communication. And now, we at the libraries, we move beyond keeping things curatorial in the archives. Our purpose has now evolved into expanding the LSU's global research visibility as we assume the library's role in the scholarly communication process and digital scholarship. So we can better support you, our Lasallian community, in your bigger and more meaningful mission in our country and the world. This is why we now have the Animo Repository. Animo Repository, or AR for short. So think of the Animo repository as the archives in the digital environment. It is a digital repository of scholarly and creative works of faculty, students like you, and researchers of De La Salle University. Aside from that, it also hosts digital archival contents that includes university events and even photo diaries, the 6 circles that you see here. So later, you will see in the demo other contents and features of this digital repository. Okay, so what makes the Animo repository different from the traditional archives that you know is that it is a dual and dynamic system. It is a repository system that basically harvests and archives all intellectual outputs of the university. So kasama dyan yung electronic thesis and dissertation na output ng undergraduate, graduates, at saka mga graduate that includes MA at PhD students. Kasama yun sa intellectual output ng university. And aside from that, it is at the same time a publishing system that showcases DLSU's full spectrum of scholarship and research that includes journals, ang mga conference proceedings, open education resources, and more. So Animo Repository is a dynamic, outward-facing system, making DLSU's work more significant in the knowledge-sharing ecosystem. Okay, so for today, we will focus on the AR's repository system, particularly in capturing electronic theses and dissertations, or ETDs. So you will often hear me say ETDs all throughout this session to refer to electronic theses and dissertations. Okay. So in this training session, I will teach you two how-tos. First, how to submit the final version of your ETD in the AR. So you already know that in the current workflow, what you do when you have your final thesis with you, you submit a copy to your department and another copy to the Office of the University Registrar. Okay, so now you only have to submit once and it should be in the Animo repository. So yes, no more CDs or DVDs and thumb drives. You will be submitting your final thesis copy in this repository. So think of it as uploading your thesis in Google Drive, only way better. Okay, and another one, okay, the second thing that I will be teaching you is how to search and locate EPDs, faculty works, and other archival documents within the AR collections from other repositories in the Digital Commons network. So aside from EPDs, there are other collections available in our repository or our Animo repository. So by the way, Animo repository is powered by the Digital Commons hosting solution. So that makes us part of the Digital Commons community. So there are, as of now, there are more than 600 institutions worldwide who are using Digital Commons, and we have access to the content that they have also. So depending on the access that they want. So most of them are providing open access to the content of their institutional repository. So that's a lot of content. So we have access to more than to about 4 million records. That includes conference proceedings, ETDs, images, and many more. So we have access to that. I'll demo that later, how you can access those contents. So let's look at the first how-to, and that is submitting your thesis. All right. So this is the workflow. Again, we would like to emphasize that it is now a requirement in your application to graduate that you have submitted in the Animo repository, because the Office of the University Registrar will now refer to the AR to generate the list of those who have submitted their thesis. Okay. All right. So to better understand how the submission system works, let's take a look at the ETD workflow here. So it's pretty fast, simple. It probably will take you 2 to 3 minutes to finish the entire submission process. So you will see the steps here. The first step in the workflow will be done by you. So you will be initiating the process. I have highlighted your participation in the process in the red box. So the step one would be you will need to log into your MyLasalle. You will need to log into AR or Animo repository using your MLS credentials. Please make sure that your MLS account is active. If you're having problems with this, please see IT Services Help Desk. Okay, once you're logged in, the next step would be to accept the terms and conditions of the AR. I will show you that later in the demo. After that, you are now ready to fill out the submission form. And after that, you will be uploading your final and complete version of your ETD. So emphasis on final and complete version of the ETD. So once your submission has been successfully saved and done, this is the end of the process for you. Now, it will be picked up by the ETD coordinator. Who is your ETD coordinator? That is your thesis coordinator. Okay. Your ETD coordinator is usually your thesis coordinator, but you will who this is for sure kapag magsasubmit na kayo. All right. So after you submit, the ATD coordinator of your department will be the next person in the workflow to review and register a decision about your submission. So when we say register a decision, he or she may recommend some revisions in your submission, in which case you will need to go back. You will need to go and log back in and apply the revision and resubmit. On the other hand, if your submission has been accepted, the process will proceed to the library personnel for technical procedures up to the last step, which is publishing of publishing of your ETD in the AR. Okay, so some of you may ask, will it be automatically be published? Not necessarily. It will depend on the allowed publishing access defined by you or by the department. I will show you the submission agreement form or consent form later. That is where you will see the publishing access types that we ask you to check. Okay? All right. So at this point, do you have any questions? Candy, do we have questions so far?
Or Miss.
Thank you. Right. So at this point, I would like to let you know what documents or what you need to prepare before uploading your final thesis. So I mentioned that submission process is very easy and very fast. Just make sure that you prepare the following documents. No, you have these documents ready before submitting or logging into the AR. So what are these? I have 5 items here. So first one is this scanned signed copy of your department's approval sheet if you're using the print version. And the second one would be the scanned signed submission agreement form. You can download this form from the AR website. I'll show you later. So when you save this document, please make sure that you follow this file format. So the year, your last name, your first name, and of course the title of the document, which is submission consent form. So both 1 or 2 are required for uploading. Okay, next, after that, of course, you will need to submit your full thesis document, the entire document in PDF format. And aside from that, you will also need to submit the by chapter. Okay, so the full thesis, make sure that you submit the final version. Again, final version of the thesis. Please take note that the system will not accept drafts, and if there are any erroneous uploads, it cannot be readily withdrawn from the system. So again, please make sure that you upload the final version. Okay, and again, aside from that, aside from the full text version, you will also need to prepare and upload the by chapter parts of your thesis and separate files as shown here. So you have to strictly follow this file format. Again, to reiterate, both 3 and 4 are required to be uploaded in the AR. And this is the file naming convention that we have to follow. Again, it's the year underscore last name underscore first name underscore the title of the chapter or the part of the thesis. Okay, next. So we said there's 5. Okay, now sometimes you have additional files that you need to submit. Then you can do that too. This is of course not a required field, but your thesis coordinator or thesis advisor may require this or look for this, so you can also upload them. Again, this may be posters or baka videos or audios, which are part of the output of your ETD. So if your ETD coordinator will look for this, make sure you upload these files as well. Okay? So that's it. Please remember those 5 items that you need to prepare to get them ready before you log into AR to submit your ETD. Okay? You have questions? Do you have questions so far?
Miss, just about the recording and your presentation. I already
Ah,
answered.
all right. Thank you, Miss Candy. All right. So if not, I will move along. Okay, so just some reminders before uploading. When uploading to the submission form, please take note that the maximum file size that can be uploaded is up to 2 gigabytes big. Should you upload, if you need a bigger size limit, then please contact us at library@dlsu.edu.ph so we can work this one around. Of course, we also discourage submitting of zipped and compressed files as we are uploading individual files separately. And lastly, it is a must that all files for submission are virus-free. So we would like to request you to run a clean check on your files before uploading them in the AR. So let me see, do you have any questions now?
Miss Janice, there's a question. Will the chapter file name format include all members of the group or just one?
Okay. The one submitting the document, that's the first and last name that you will be using. Okay, not to worry because yes, that's a good question. This is a good question. So if there are multiple authors in the ATD, right? So the one submitting, just use the name of the person who will be submitting in the AR. If there are multiple authors, only one person need to submit. You don't need to submit individually. Is that clear? So just use the last name. Again, just use the last name and first name of the student who will be submitting in the AR. Because anyway, the names of the other authors will be reflected in the list of authors. You will see that later in the submission form. Okay, thank you for the question, Mr. Santos and Mr. Martin. All right, any more questions before we move on to the next part? Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, let me see. All right, yeah, thanks, Miss Ken. All right, so if there are no questions, I'm going to take you to the live site of Animo repository for the thorough demo of EPD submission. Then I'll proceed right through the second how-to, which is searching and locating contents in the AR and Digital Commons repository network. Right, so I'm going to share a different screen now. Let me just turn off my video. Okay, if you have questions at any point during the demo, please feel free to chat or put them in the chat box or unmute your microphone. Okay, I will now proceed to the live site. All right. Okay, do you see the library website now? Is that what you're seeing in your screen?
Yes, Miss.
Right. Thank you for confirming. Okay, so I'm going to show you the two ways by which you can access Animo repository. So the first one is from here, the library website. Once in your our website, that's blsu.edu.ph/library, you will see this landing page, and below the search box there are links here. And one of them, the last one, is Animo repository. So in case you forgot the link of Animo repository, just go to the website and click this link. Okay. And you should be there in the Animo repository website. Now, if you remember the link, then just type in animorepository.dlsu.edu.ph and voila, you're here in our AR website. So welcome to the AR website. If this is your first time seeing this one, this is it. Okay, this is the landing page. And over here, you can see the 6 circles that I showed you earlier. So browse, research, and scholarship. So these are the major or categories, major categories by which you can browse the content of the AR. So you have here colleges and units. So if you're particularly looking for your college, then you can use this there. And then for faculty, research, and creative works, we are slowly but surely populating our repository. So right now, what we have here are the faculty research works that are available or harvested from the Scopus. Okay, we also have links to the Scopus. Okay, and of course, hindi pwedeng mawala the thesis and dissertation collection. So if you click that, this is what you will see. You can browse by department. So if you want to browse by department, you go to the thesis and dissertations collection, because if you browse by colleges, okay, if you browse by colleges, this is what you will see. It is further categorized by publication format. So bachelor's thesis, dissertation, faculty works, and master's thesis. Again, if you want to see the by department of the thesis collection, you click this link. All right. We also have photo galleries and university events. As you already know, archives holds the institutional memory of the university. So our university events and etc. photo galleries will also be available in the repository. And we also have the oral history collection. Right now, what we have is the oral history of Dr. Marcelino Ferranda. Okay, so that's for the six major categories or collections that we have in the Animo repository. Below it, we have this at a glance. So these are brief, like insights, real-time insights on the use of this AR. So you have the top 10 downloads, the recent additions, the paper of the day, which is randomly selected by the system. Aside from that, you also have the brief statistics here of how many papers are available in the repository, the number of full text downloads, and the downloads in the past year. So it's good to have this kind of statistics also. So you know how well the community is making use of this website. All right, so let's move now to the sidebar of the page. So over here, I have the search links. So under the search, you have here this part, basic search and advanced search for the browse. So when you click the collections, it's similar to this one. The content is similar to the six circles here. So let me just click it to show you there, colleges and unit, oral histories, etc. Disciplines. Okay, so when we submit our work in the repository, you have the option to define or identify the discipline. So in that case, it will be included in this index. Okay? And of course, we have the colleges and units. Yan. And of course, by author. If there's a particular author that you want to follow or want to check out, then you can use that link. Right? Let's go back. Want to go back? Just click home. And of course, what else? We have the submissions group. So you have the submit research, author FAQ, submission agreement form, and the Animo repository policy. So ito yung button na gagamitin natin later for the demo. Mamaya ka na lang ipakita sa'yo. We have the author FAQs. The submission agreement form is this one. Okay. Okay, so this is the submission consent form. So last time I mentioned that it's not automatic that we will publish your research or your EPD. So it will depend on what box your department or you will check in here. So it could be this one, no embargo, so readily available to library patrons once accepted and published. The other one is that you can place embargo, meaning we will not give access to your work after maybe 6 months, 1 year, depending on the embargo period that you have identified. Or maybe your department or you prefer not to show, no, not to make your work accessible to the DLSU community. You want it to just be, stored in the AR. So you also have that option here. Okay, so this is the file that you have to download and fill out and save and upload in the submission form. Okay, and if you're curious, you also have the Animo repository policies here. And of course, the important links are here. We will also, after the training series, this training series, we will be adding another link here. The how-to guides, how to submit, how to upload, etc. We will include the link here, including the access to the recording of this session. All right. Okay. Now we're not done yet. Let me just point out some of the menu here. So you have the home. If you want to go back to this page, the landing page, just click home. About is basically here, this one, the definition or the description of this page. We also have FAQs, and of course this one, my account. Very important. This is where you can access your my account. So now we move on to the demo, how to submit your work in the Animo repository. Okay, so the first step, as indicated in the workflow, is to log in using your MLS account. So let me click my account, and I already have my login credentials here. So this is my MLS account. You can also use your email if that's what you prefer, since we have the same password for email and your MLS login. So I tried using that also, try logging using email, same password, and I was able to log in. So after that, just make sure you click that you are not a robot. Make sure you click that box, otherwise it will ask you to log in again. All right, so for this part, let me just go to my dummy account. There, so once you click log in, once you click log in, okay, this is the page that you will see next. Okay, so that is your account details. Account details. Right. So since I'm using this, so you have here your profile, research alerts. Research alerts, if you follow some collections in the repository, then you will see that the settings, you can set the settings here. The dashboard, readership of your work. So if you, for example, decided to make your research available to the DLSU community, then you will have the statistics or the insights on how many have downloaded, how many have accessed your paper. You will see that here. And these are the articles that you've submitted. Since I'm using this account for demo purposes, I have already heard here two thesis titles, test thesis titles, and also the status. Okay, now let's try and start submitting our research. Okay, so over in the sidebar, click Submit Research. And then I will choose the Behavioral Science Department. Now, if you're a graduate student, then you have to click the bachelor's thesis link. If you're a PhD student, click the dissertations. And if you're a master's student, then click this one. So let's just say I'm an undergraduate student. I'm clicking the bachelor's thesis link. And this is the next page that will appear. This is the submission agreement. So this is similar to the consent form. Okay, so we have here the submission process, some reminders before you begin, and this one, the submission consent. So please go through the consent, okay? Because once you click that box, that means you agree or confirm to the following statements, okay, the final version, etc. So make sure you go through the submission consent form. Okay, let's say I'm done. I agree. Yes, definitely. So I'm just gonna click this box and click continue. Okay, so after that, now I'm ready to fill out this submission form. So this is the online submission form. It looks long, but it's very short actually. All right, so there are required fields in here. So let's try. We'll just use my go-to title. And then for the author, okay, so many of you have asked, curious, who will submit? No, who will, aside from who will submit, do you have to submit individually if you have, if you are co-authors? No, so this is where you will add your co-authors. Okay, if you're using your MLS account, then you can already search their names here. Okay, so this is a dummy account, so I won't be able to search that, but I can add. Okay, I can add. So just Include the email. Make sure you fill out the email, first name, middle name, last name, etc. And the institution. Okay, so if you're logged in, your information, your name and email address is automatically generated by the system. So the rest of the co-authors, you will need to manually add them here in the form. So don't forget that. If you have co-authors, make sure that you add them here. Email address, very important because they will also get notifications if there are any updates on the status of your submission. For the date of publication, just put in the date or the year today for the degree name. Since we've already identified that we're in behavioral sciences, all the behavioral sciences degree available would be in the drop-down menu. So I'm just gonna click this one. In the subject categories, this is will be part of the disciplines. You saw the discipline links in the landing page, right? So if you like identify some say disciplines in here, then your work will be tagged under this disciplines. Okay. So this is optional, but we also encourage you to fill this out. Okay, for the college, because we selected behavioral sciences, then College of Liberal Arts is already here. For the department, of course, that's behavioral sciences. If you have an award, please put it here. Okay, thesis advisor. For the thesis advisor, this is how we will input the names. Okay, so hindi ganito. Hindi ganyan. Okay, so magkakasunod like so. Okay, if you want to add another name, then just use the shift and enter key like that. Right, so fill out the defense panel chair. Same then. So let me just copy this once. Okay. Copy ko na lang. Para mabilis. Okay. Ang dami ko nilagay agad. Okay. Pag multiple, so defense panel chair, second one dito sa pangalawa. Kung may mga member siya, ang daming chair, no? So, isahin lang natin. Sige. Kasi chair naman siya. Ito yung members. Kunyari, sila yung members. Okay. And then the abstract or summary, please make sure you copy and paste, check the typos, etc. Because whatever you put in here, we will not edit it. We will not be editing it. So make sure you have proofread the abstract. Okay, so I have a sample abstract here. Let's just paste that. Okay, and we have to select the language. So this one, for this one, it's English. All right. So I'm down to the last part of the submission form. I'm ready to upload my full text. So again, make sure that you have your files ready once you are here. So just click this. Okay, there are 3 options here, but mostly we will use this one. So, but you can also use this if that's what you have. Import from the remote site, link out file on the remote site. So I will now choose file. This is where I will put the full text. I will upload the full text. Okay, so I have here a sample full thesis in PDF. Right. Now, we mentioned that you also have, aside from the full text copy, we mentioned that you also need to submit the by chapter file. So where will we place it? Here. So make sure you click this box here, okay? And then click submit. Once you click that, you will be directed to this site, okay? Uploading for supplemental contents. Now let's try that. So click choose file. And I would like to submit my signed submission consent form. Okay, now it's already here in the description. Submission consent form. And then, of course, this is not the only file that I need to upload. So let me go back and click another file. For this one, we have the signed approval. Next one, the preliminary pages. We have the preliminary. So you have there the title, the abstract, preface, acknowledgement, or dedication, etc. Okay, now I'm ready for my chapter 1. Processing. Okay. Chapter 2 now. Again, please take note of the file naming convention that you have to follow. See, say I'm done. Okay, let's add the references. Let's say I'm done with the complete chapters. Now I'm gonna put in the references. And of course, I have appendices. So my coordinator definitely will look for the appendices. So I will add another file for the appendices. All right. Okay, so at this point, please go through your submission once again. Okay, submission once again. See if you have uploaded the complete set of documents that is required to be submitted. All right. So after that, okay, I've checked. It's all okay. It's ready. Then I will now click continue. Let's just wait for a few moments while it's loading. All right. Okay. So you have this confirmation page. That means you have successfully uploaded your thesis. So, bilis lang, diba? So, that's it. Once you have here, this one, that's a confirmation that you have successfully submitted your paper. So, andito rin, these are the information that you have provided. So, there's a summary. These are the metadata. Okay, the thesis advisor, panel chair, etc. Okay, if you want to download the full text, you can do so, etc. And the documents that you have uploaded, you have the ability to download that here. Now, aside from the submission confirmation here in the website, you will also receive an email. Okay, the email would look like this. Okay, hindi ito. This one. Hindi ito. Sorry. This one. Nasaan na ba yun? Wait lang. The one that says you have uploaded. Okay. Okay. This one. Do you see this? So, MS 1007 received for behavioral science bachelor thesis. And it says here that there's a new upload. And the authors are, and the title is. So these are what you will receive more or less in your email. Okay. So there's a confirmation that you are that. Okay, now the next step would be for the ETD coordinator. Okay, so let me log in to my administrator's account. So I can show you briefly the coordinator side of the process. Okay, hold on one moment. Just give me a few more seconds while I access the content. Okay, so let me share this with you. So now, once you've submitted, the ETD coordinator will be notified. There's a new submission in the behavioral science department, and she or he may access that now, and he can go through the submission and register the decision. So let's just say that it's all okay. So in the decision, she will say accept. So there are other decisions here, as you can see. So there are accept dissertation or thesis with minor revision, major revision, reject, etc. So since this is a final thesis, just make sure that's a final version. So there's no reason for the APB coordinator to reject or ask for revision. So let's just say accepted. If it's accepted, then that's it. And then another email will be sent to you. Okay, sent to you as well as to the co-authors. Okay, just make sure, again, don't forget to add them in the authors field, your other partners in your research. And after that, since I'm done, that's my decision, accept this thesis, then I can register the decision. Okay, and then share. So from here, so let me just check the email that I will be receiving from the system. Refresh ko lang. Okay. So I will receive, once my ETD coordinator accepted my paper, I will receive this email. So it says here, the title of your paper has been accepted into the Behavioral Sciences Bachelor's Thesis. So it also tells you where you submitted. So bachelor's thesis, especially for undergraduate students. And that's it. That's the end of the process for you. You can also check the status of your submission aside from the email notification in your account. So let's go back to your account here, and you will see this one. This is the latest that I submitted, and the status is here. So if it's a different status, like let's say it's rejected, then it will also be indicated in your account here. Okay. So questions? Do you have questions?
For Miss Janice.
All right, thanks, Miss Candy. So if there are no questions, then that's for the first how-to, and now we will briefly go over the second how to search and locate materials in the repository. All right, so we will begin with this search box here. So normally we have the basic searching, and for basic searching, we usually use the keywords. So okay, I will use this one. Carbon footprint in this repository. Okay, there's a drop-down menu here. In this repository is the first one. And there's also across all repository. In the across all repositories, I already mentioned that you will be searching the Digital Commons network. Okay, later I will show you how to do it. Okay, let's try carbon footprint. That's my topic. I wanna see what we have, what EDDs or faculty work we have regarding this topic. So I have these results. Okay. Okay, so similar to Animo search, if you're familiar with Animo search, you also have here some facets by which you can further filter your results. So let's say you want just the thesis and dissertations, then you can click here. What are the thesis and dissertations available in this topic? Click that. If you are done with that filter, then just click the X box, the X icon. If you want to see, maybe you want to see all the results, those are published in 2019. You can also use that filter here. Okay. If you want to see, you want to check out, or you want to download some content for references or as your related literature, please look for the file type and look for this one, PDF, because that means there's a full text copy in that record. Okay, so once you click this one, download. In the AR, there's no like a view only function, so it's automatically downloaded when you click download. So you see this one? So this is the page. It says De La Salle University Animo Repository. what series it's from, faculty research work, and who the author is, the title, etc. And of course, the copy of the full text of the article. Right, so that's how you do it. Now let's go back to the first page and let's try searching in the across all repositories. Okay, so this time we will use the same keyword, but again, we will be searching the digital commons network. So I mentioned again that this comprises more than 600 institutions. So we have access to their collection as well. So see that from how many results we have last time, 20 plus, we now have almost 14,000 no, results from that keyword alone. Okay, so down here, there are disciplines, more disciplines. So if you're just particular with, say, animal sciences, you can just click that discipline. Okay, for keywords, there are keywords. You can filter the keywords as well. So basically, you have the summary of the results over here on the left sidebar. Okay, again, you can, if you're interested on the results published in 2020, then just click this filter. If you're looking for theses, now theses and dissertations, all of these are EPDs anyway, then you can click this link. And you see here that most of them are available for download. See, is that great or is that great? So aside from EPDs that you can use from our own collection, you have access to many, no, thousands of EPDs available in the Digital Commons Network. And these are actual EPDs. So access to many contents. Ayan. So this is their thesis, abstract, complete. So some universities have really like good open access policy. They really, there's no restriction, no. Let me inform you that for now in De La Salle University, the decision of the university is to just make the first 3 chapters accessible as well as the references, not the entire full text. But in other universities, they make the entire full text available from the entire thesis from chapters 1 to 5, including the appendices, like the one that you're seeing here. So that's a very good, um, this is a very good addition to resources that you have for your thesis. Okay, so what else for thesis and dissertations? Ayan. So tanggalin ko lang to. So there are other classifications here. Just click more. So there are faculty publications, news, papers, faculty scholarship, the different classifications. So there are different classifications here because I've mentioned there are, this is from more than 600 universities. So they may classify the ETDs differently. So again. Okay, again, if you want to use or check out those with full text access, then you can see here. You can click this one. If there are images, you will also see it here. Let me just try that. Say family. Okay, so there are lots of images also that you can find. Anyway, I will not be able to show you because it's downloaded in my local disk, but you can try that also. So there are images, there are PowerPoint, different file types that you can see here. MS, images. In fact, we can also upload videos here in the Animo repository. So I hope you can also share to your friends the wealth of resources that we have here in the Animo repository through the Digital Commons Network. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, medyo overtime na tayo ng 5 minutes, but let me just go over the advanced search. Okay, when you use the advanced search, it gives you additional criteria when you search. Okay, so let's try. Let's say I'm gonna look for works of Dr. Kathleen Aviso, one of our faculty, and prolific writer din to. Because I'm familiar with her work, I'm gonna search for that and then click additional criteria. So all her works are here. So there's the summary over here. There's one in 2016, many in 2018. These are in the publication, none in ETDs, but these works all belong to the faculty and research work series. And 11 of them have full text, and these are. So you can also, as usual, you can also use keyword when searching for resources here in the Animo repository. Okay, using the advanced search. If you want to search for all repositories, you can also do that. Let's try using a keyword. Let's try energy, the one with energy in the title. I detail somewhere in the document. So let's try, and I will search all repositories this time. Are you still there? Overtime by contest, sorry. Okay, so here are the results. Okay, so I hope you will make use of the advanced search as well. Now, one last thing before we end this session, say you're just interested in looking for thesis, no, just thesis, not faculty works, etc. I'm just interested in looking for thesis, available thesis in our collection, in the LSU collection. So in that case, click that one, thesis and dissertations, and you will see here there's another option. No, before we only have in this repository and then across all repositories. When you click that circle, then in this collection appears here. So that means you will only search within the thesis and dissertation. So let's try another. So if you use that technique, only resources under thesis and dissertations will appear here. So you will see a lot of bibliographic information about the titles available in our repository. However, let me give you a heads up that not all, we don't have many electronic content as of the moment. Because we just recently started getting electronic format of thesis a few years ago. So right now, we will be uploading like more than 5,000 ETDs or electronic thesis and dissertation, and we are slowly but surely populating this content. But the rest are still available, are only available in physical format. Therefore, you will see here that there is it will say here that it's not available and only the abstract is accessible. Okay. All right. So I think that wraps up the demo on how to search and locate resources within the Animo repository. Okay. Do you have any question so far?
There's nothing on the chat, but if they want to ask their question live, they can just unmute their microphones.
Correct. Wala na bang question?
Going once?
Okay. Wala nang questions? Nasagot na ba? Is it easy? Type 1 in the chat box if you find it easy to upload your thesis in the AR.
I don't know if you're still awake.
Yan. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Hello, Media. Yay. There. Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So that's why they don't have any more questions. Okay, so with that, let me just share you briefly. We have guides, and again, we will share this. We will add this link in the AR website after this training. And wala ng question. So thank you so much for attending this session. Apologies for a brief of 10 minutes. We went over time for like 10 minutes, no? Sorry for that. We'll try to be mindful of the time next time. But thank you. If you have any questions regarding the submission, if you have concerns on your MLS account, please feel free to reach us. We will very much, we will try our best, to help you and assist you. And we look forward to seeing your thesis uploaded in the AR. And it will now be part of the scholarly and intellectual output of the university. We look forward to that. All right. So thank you so much for coming in this session. Enjoy the rest of the day. Ingat. Thank you, Sir Kirby, Miss Embry, Crystal, Judy May, Kat, Milka. First name na lang tayo. First name basis na lang. Kirika, thank you so much. Sir Ron Infante, thank you also. Lou, or tama ba yung pronunciation? Miss Pia, yes, thank you po. Nikki, thank you. Miss Candy, thank you. Miss Candy May Skype for
Consultation po.
this afternoon. Justin Tinti. Na-butcher ko na yung nila. Pronunciation ng pangalan nila. Thank you, Miss Ian. Ian Kevin. Ian Kevin. Yes. Okay. Right. So I will now end the session. Thank you again. Miss Candy, thank you again.
Thank you, Miss Janice.
In the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.